Take that, Zwick. You fucking bastard.
Prepare to be fucked by the long dick of the law. This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
You can't break those cuffs.
Make him away, Ty.
Three dudes looking depressed as the theme song's playing.
Just thinking about my life. I'm actually thinking about some of the funny characters from the theme song.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I'm Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Grant. You know, I think Zwick is really underappreciated, and we appreciate Zwick sometimes too much. I think we overappreciate him, but every time I hear a fucking loud ass car blasting its music like as it's going by and then like it doesn't get picked up on the mics, I'm just like, Zwick he did magic again. Our magical little audio fairy man.
The man behind the curtain, I like to call him.
What do you think he does with the music? What with the car music? Does he hold on to that? For
I think he isolates it and like saves it to jack off
He
later.
puts it into a little jar.
I
and
agree.
Yeah.
He walks into his closet and it's just full of jars of.
She's like, Zwick, what is all this?
A lot of jars.
It's your room noise.
It's the ending of The Prestige.
What the fuck is all this? Let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last time, Aaron Klopfer. From the live show, thanks everybody for watching it. If you didn't watch it,
It's
on
on YouTube. Please watch it. We put a lot of effort into it. It didn't turn out exactly how we wanted it to terms of technicalities. But hey, you know, it's a learning experience. There's going to be more. They're going to be better.
Yeah.
You do one for them and then you do one for you.
Exactly. And that's what's coming. More to come for that. We'll let you know. It was a good time. A lot of laughs, a lot of merriment from me. I can only speak for myself. But I think everybody else had some fun too. It was a full house in there over at the Lincoln Lodge.
I was surprised to look out and see people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so used to when I would play music, I would look out and I'd see nobody.
And you did play music at the live show, just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think that was in the video though.
That's true. That's right. Yeah, you had to be there, folks.
Yeah.
That's what you get if you actually come to the shows. You get a little bit of extra of Grant will serenade you. Anyway, let's give a warm welcome to a returning champion to the show. We're a returning guest to the program. I'm talking about Ian Erickson. How the hell are you, Ian?
I'm doing good. Good to be here. Thanks for having me back. It's a three-peat.
Yeah,
it's
oh my
three-peat.
gosh. What is that, Grant? Gumshoe status?
I believe so. If
So
we're going
we have
by
a very confusing
Carmen Sandiego rules.
A little confusing lore on the show where if you're here less than 3 times, you are
A deputy.
Deputy.
But I think that everybody's a deputy, you know? And I also think that the fans, too, are themselves deputies.
This is so confusing. So then if you come on 3 times, you're Gumshoe.
It's like a higher rank. Like you're still deputized.
You're
You're
not
not.
a 5.
5
I
you
don't
get
know.
on
We
SNL. But then if you
Yes.
get on SNL 5 times, then you're in the 5-timers club. So if you do Thought Cops 25 times, I mean,
Stands to reason you can be up there with some of the greats.
you can
Bill
trade
Murray.
them in for more points.
Yes, at Chuck E. Cheese, I want to say.
Yeah, you can get the little spider where you press its button, it doesn't
Yeah.
flip.
5,000 tickets for a little spider? Come on. What a ripoff.
Well, when I was a kid, back in my day, and remember the 90s?
Oh, do I?
No.
The cartoon Rugrats comes to mind.
Rugrats,
I
it's
think
so
about-
funny. Chunky is a little kid, and he drinks his Baba. One of my favorite shows is when the show the Baba used to hit different back in the 90s.
It really did. It really
I
did.
would get my binky before Nine, and I would watch Rugrats, and I would just down Baba after Baba. I'm thirsty.
Remember breast milk?
Yeah, I actually do.
That shit was fucking hitting different.
The thing about breast milk is make you big and strong.
Right?
Yeah, big strong boy.
Yeah. Anyway, hope we haven't isolated anybody else from the show. This is like at the live show. I think I saw somebody walk out during the dad's cum portion of the show.
Yeah, I made a note of it.
Yeah.
I was like, look, people are leaving.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Is it just a dad who's like kind of standing at an angle, like walking out?
There was a family there, I think. Which
Was
is
there?
Weird.
That's weird.
Oh, I'm
Josh.
so sorry.
Josh pointed that out to us the next day, where it was like 11 p.m. on a Friday night. There was like a mom, a dad, and a teenage daughter or something. I don't know, but you know what?
Well,
That would be kind of like a really good punishment in high school, like if you got caught like going out or drinking or something, and your parents are like, "We're gonna take you out to a podcast." Like you have to listen to a podcast about like anime and pop culture,
Yeah.
and
they think that
you have
like,
to go with us.
They think it's gonna be like NPR, and it's like cum jokes. Like, God damn it, not one of these podcasts.
Yeah, Josh in the chat says, "Yeah, that is what it looked like," referring to a family. Oopsie.
Well,
anyway, let's
speaking of repeat though, Ian's also here in 3D right now, so that's 2 3s.
Hey, peace, man.
This is we got a little bit of a new setup, and you know, like we've talked about in 2 previous episodes, not including the live show, but these are on YouTube.
That's right.
If you want to listen to them in your ears on your podcast app, you're more than welcome to. If you want to look at us in a dirty room where there's markings on the wall, big giant markings on my door.
Zwick, you want to edit out the
Zwick,
mess?
clean my room for me. You can. If you go to YouTube and you follow us, if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you can watch this in its full glory. We're doing clips. And if you want to be part of the live experience and jump in this beautiful Discord chat here that I'm looking at on this laptop,
Everybody's so sexy.
$5 a month gets you honorary deputy status, as Cashew's pointing out right here.
Wow, I'm looking at the chat right now, and some of these people are saying some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. You're gonna want to spend $5 to be able to read some of this stuff.
You see this? You see
it's
this
a little
turtle?
NSFW. If you know
see
what I'm
this
saying.
turtle right here? It's incredible, right?
That was
Is that from Over the Hedge?
yes. I know I'm just gonna leave it there. If you know, you know. We had one of the most insane moments of the show was me explaining that.
I saw that I saw that movie. I think I was a freshman in high school when it came out, and I saw that movie because I think it was either like the first day of summer or like we were just hanging. It was summer and we were hanging out with friends.
What a great way to kick off the summer.
A summer movie. It's a classic. It's a classic hang. But earlier in that day, we saw the Omen remake with the Damien the Child or whatever, and it was like good. It was scary.
Great double feature.
But so we went to see that movie, and then we left and went back to my friend's house who lived in the suburbs, and then more people met up at my friend's house, and then the plan was we were going to go see a movie, and most people went to see The Omen, and then I went to see Over the Hedge with 4 of my other friends who were all dating. It was like 2 couples, so I was like a fifth wheel, and they were all making out, and I'm like, I don't know if I buy Bruce Willis as a raccoon.
If it makes you feel any better, I was a third wheel to B movie with Jerry Seinfeld.
I didn't see that one, but yeah, I mean, it's not great. I don't think we need to go like kind of top each other about how kind of it's we weren't exactly Sigmas.
Sigma balls, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Patreon, $5 a month gets you this beautiful live chat, as Ian talked about.
You already
$2
mentioned,
a month. Yeah, I was recapping so that I could pitch the Patreon more. $2 a month gets you Fire Bros, which I think we're going to record a new episode of like pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're ready to go on that.
I had a bonus episode in the last feed. If you want a little taste, you little sick freaks, go check that out.
And $10 will get you early access to videos. We do have one in the pipeline that we want to shoot out soon that was made probably about a year ago.
And we record some bonus little mini episodes for you. Last time we had Nico here. We were having a
we gotta put that up still.
We recorded like 4.
It'll be good to go. Those are the ride along episodes.
Anyway,
just gotta post it. And let's not belabor the point any longer.
I want to continue to introduce the guests because I started. I got blue balls. You cut me off. I'm still sitting here. I don't feel comfortable saying this, but what I want to say is, Ian, you're a comedian. You are a funny man. You know what? I've talked to a lot of other comedians in the city here. How did you handle yourself during the pandemic? Staying busy.
Yeah, I stayed busy. I went just, I stayed sane I was out there hitting the mics. I was writing jokes every day. Shakespeare wrote King Lear in quarantine. So I thought, I got to be writing all the time.
True.
So my mind did not stray far from comedy. I was doing comedy in the park. I would bring my amp and I would do joke for joke. I would go to restaurants where they were doing outdoor seating, and I would bust out my little amp and I would
set it up. Yeah,
I would do my jokes, and I guess some restaurants. I think the quarantine was just that bad. Where some restaurants were just like closed kind of extra early, but I would still do my jokes, especially for like the bus boys, and I don't know if they really spoke English, but I would kind of do louder jokes at them to see if they would get it.
And it's a good. You can like learn. Like how not just English, but like also like how culture works.
Yeah, and so I would ask them. I was kind of like teaching them, and so I was asking for like to get tipped out by them because I felt like I was like kind of helping make their job easier. Like I was carrying the load sometimes, but I would get some dirty looks, and maybe that's a cultural thing, but I'm
not sure.
Yeah, I just felt like just that's how as a comedian it was my job to. No matter how, and the whole virus is fake. It doesn't really, it didn't really, I got sick a little bit and was like coughing up blood, but if you just kind of like take enough cough medicine, like no one will know. And, that was like probably something unrelated, but I had to do my shows. I had to do my jokes. I just had to get out there and just do comedy because I live, breathe, eat, sleep, drink comedy. And it's the most important thing in the world. And I need to let other people know what I'm doing with my life. So it's just something that I've, a little something I've been
And the
up to.
world needs it.
The world needs to laugh.
Yes.
You're like an essential worker, really.
Well, you know that the earth is 70% water?
No.
It's tears. Salt water, it's tears from crying.
That's right.
And so I think that we need to maybe crank up the heat a little bit, get some of that, wipe away the tears, get a little hot in here. And just make laughter, make America laugh again.
That's okay. Mala. I like that.
It's about time. Someone needed to say it,
It'd be really funny if you did like a parody Red Hat where somebody from a distance wouldn't know the difference, but you get close enough and they're like, hey man, you can't wear that. Oh,
during quarantine,
it's a funny parody.
The number of funny MAGA parody hats I wrote, it was just, it's one of the funnier.
Always writing.
I'm always writing, but also it's just so funny to like make fun of that idea. Because it's like you're clearly making fun of it. And when you wear the hat, someone is like taking the time to like look at the red hat and be like, oh, let's just see what it says first. Like, and they're looking at the hat and they're seeing the funny joke I wrote and they're just laughing and laughing. And it makes me feel good because I do all this for other people. I do it to make other people laugh.
Truly selfless.
I'm
also,
making them laugh and I'm getting their laughter.
Leo in the chat brings up a great point. Kamala Harris.
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Come make America laugh again. Okay, that Leo is definitely onto something there.
We're onto something.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
I also want to say though, Ian, not for the fucking bullshit. You have a very funny Twitter account, one of my all-time favorites, and I'm not just saying that.
It is good. It is also one of my all-time.
I get a big laugh out of it. I sometimes I'll like send your tweets to Grant. I get a laugh out of it. But I want to say big shout out to TGI. What the F? Dude, what the heck? That's some of the most... Okay, if you like some twisted humor, you definitely want to give Ian a follow. Is it Mr. Ian online?
Yeah, I
currently?
think I changed it. When I was doing a job search, I thought that wouldn't matter at all. So I changed it to not have my full name. But It's like you don't have to do much to find my full name. But I dare you. Actually, I don't want to put that challenge. I don't know what type of. I've seen some pretty freaked up guys here in the chat, so I don't want to.
Yeah, you want to watch out for them.
Yeah, we've got a lot of gumshoes on our hands.
We got some sharks in the chat. I'll say that much.
But yeah, TGI, what the F? I must have been smoking something when I came up with that.
What the heck were you thinking?
I don't know.
The kind of crap that you say on there, it's like you're talking about Elon Musk found shrimp tails in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm like, okay,
well,
that's enough internet for today. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing is I'm not even like thinking of this stuff. I'm just reacting to what I'm seeing on Twitter, in real life, in news, online. This is just me reacting, and I calls them like I sees them, and so I can't help it. But it's like the world has seriously gone to hell in a handbasket. And
let me just say real quick though, if you go to Ian's page, prepare to have the mirror on your face, because Ian is showing a reflection back to society and saying, hey, this is what you like. And it may not be a regular mirror, but it's one of those crazy wavy circus mirrors, because that's the way that you see things a little different.
Or you know what it could also be is an infinity mirror, because some of these things that I'm saying on there, it's got legs and it can keep going and going and going.
Ian, would you say that comedians are more or less the modern philosopher? And also, would you say that Tim Dillon is the next George Carlin? Would you say both of those things are true?
I would say both of those. I would say both of those things.
Okay.
And I would say both of those things are true.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's the lonely comedian riffs to himself at night.
Okay. I thought that was going to go in another direction, but let's...
You never know with me.
I will say that I really don't. This guy, again, we're going to have... Hey, Zwick, maybe you have to cut out his mic because we don't know what the heck he's going to do here tonight. But I want to move on here. Actually, before I
like the idea of like Zwick being behind a soundboard. Like, nah, cut his mic. Get him on.
Cut.
Or he's like the like TV production guy and has like the 5 screens and he's like,
right.
No, you can't do the tweet. Cut his mic.
Or like we talked about last week, the guy with the cane. Bring the cane back.
Cut the commercial.
But I before we get to 2 minutes of hate though, Ian, you have a surprise for us, don't you?
I do have a little.
I have this is something I wanted to whip up for the show. Everybody at home, get ready,
dude. I'm nervous.
You're about to have your fucking minds blown.
Have you guys ever seen a white guy with dreadlocks before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
For the folks at home.
For the folks at home, matey. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow, and my famous catchphrase is, have you seen the rum? Where's the rum? Where's the rum at, matey? Ahoy there, Barbosa! Cool.
This is the big
Lily Swan.
This was the big surprise.
I've been promoting this big surprise for the show all week, and this was it.
The best part is that
the best part is my girlfriend is here and she will not make eye contact with me right now.
Yeah, she's just sort of staring at the floor right now. It's
so we should explain. Yeah, he's put on a
99% of people don't find this funny and don't know why you're dressed like Jack Sparrow.
But that's why.
That's
what was that one like show you did where you just put on a Jack Sparrow wig and hat and was just doing the impression?
And everyone was telling you don't do that, and you absolutely did it.
Yeah, was this at my house show in my backyard?
Yeah.
And then I think I walked out to. I was gonna walk out to the Pirates theme song, but then at the last second I told Aaron, who was running our board, to do the like Irish song from The Departed. That's like.
That's good.
And everyone told me not to do it, which made me think I have to do it.
Yeah,
for the
you
show.
have to. You have to. I mean, Ian, I think he coined the term the other day was you are hardcore sparrow-pilled.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I have never met
Yeah.
anyone more dedicated to Jack Sparrow.
I think it like it probably when the Joker thing was like happening really big. I felt like that, and maybe even a little bit before that though, but like there's just been like this weird like culture, like fan culture around like these weird ironic characters or whatever.
Sure.
And
For
I
me,
felt
it's
like
the Grinch.
yeah, and Grinch pilled, anything
Right.
you could put pilled by. But when that was like starting to kind of surface, The Mask, a lot of Jim Carrey characters, just like very large characters. I was just like, I felt like Jack Sparrow. I remember vividly when the first Pirates came out, there was kind of like a pirate. It was definitely like a big Johnny Depp fever, but like kind of like a little mini like pirate fever, and like everyone was like gaga for Pirates. And the first Pirates is really, really great.
I
a lot of
unironically love that movie. Like that might be one of my favorite, like, what would you even classify, like a Disney action adventure sort, like
just like a blockbuster.
It's a great
like,
fucking movie.
Yeah, they really crush it. It's so fun.
They still making those?
I think
I
so.
think
Well,
so,
they rebooted it, and I think like Margot Robbie is like,
she's the new Jack Sparrow.
I think like, and like she could do a fine job.
Why are they still making them, man?
I don't. I mean, they're still making everything. There's no new.
I
stuff,
love the
but-
first one, and the second one came out, and I was like, I'm done with this. I hate this.
I like the second one. I like the.
I hated the
I liked-
second and the
I
third
liked the
one. I felt
second
like
one,
were
but
so fucking bad.
The second one ended on such a cliffhanger where I was just like, I wanted it to keep going, and then it just like ended at this point where it's like, that's it. Like I want more.
because
but,
I remember
like,
they filmed the second and third back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing?
You mean the show or like
In
Pirates
general,
of the Caribbean?
Well, in general, but also the show. Like I'm like I wanted to like bring out the hat, move on with the show, and then now we're just like
Talking about Pirates of the
also
Caribbean.
the CGI for Davy
Jones.
I was gonna say Davy Crockett.
yeah.
The CGI for Davy Jones, like that still looks awesome. Like his
Yeah.
tentacle face and like all the crew, like
Yeah, I just hated those movies.
yeah. I mean,
I
they're
hated
not
the second
they're
and
not
third
as
one,
good.
like-
I haven't rewatched them like since like they came out pretty much, but yeah, I just remember that, and I just thought like there was like a Jack Sparrow like moment that was kind of like a flash in the pan thing, and then I'm like, well, if people are like going crazy for like Joker or whatever, it's like a matter of time before like the way that I see pop culture is it like a big like either the Parade of Madness or like a Katamari ball. Where like
Right.
everything, it's constantly rolling and picking up something, and once something gets big enough, it like the ball comes and rolls it up, and then like it'll like spit out a bunch of iterations, or like that style will just get copped and like put into every kind of like churned out movie or whatever, and like I feel like it's a matter of time before like the character culture ball like shines. I feel like it's already kind of happening with
You think so?
I feel like we're in the pre-throes of a spare renaissance.
I want to say very good intuition. I respect it. I saw what you're doing with the Jack Sparrow thing, and I'm like, I want to like what you saw here. When this becomes big, you can say you saw it here.
Well,
You got sparrow-pilled here on Thought Cops.
not that not that this is ever like I'm ever gonna make anything out of it, but the reason why I got the costume was I had this idea for a sketch that me and my friend Lev filmed, and I didn't do anything with it because the audio is like it's like I had like essentially this like earbuds with like a mic as my mic. But I was trying to film an on the street sketch thing as Jack Sparrow, but I'm also like don't have the confidence in public to like be a crazy person like talking to people. So I remember I got this thing though, and my friend Lev filmed it, and it was like it was mostly me like kind of reacting to stuff and occasionally like talking to people, but I like was also very nervous and self-conscious about like bothering people.
Well,
as a
the
big
ending
idiot.
you told me is incredible.
Right. Well, that's the whole pivot of the sketch. It's me going around Chicago trying to find the rum, and I'm asking people, where's the rum? And I'm going to Navy Pier, and I'm going to like
The bean.
the bean, and I'm just kind of like, we got just some like footage shots or whatever, and I'm sort of talking to people. I'm like I'm like dancing with like a bucket drummer, and at one point I brought these like glow sticks, and I like do some like I put my hat down and I start like doing a little like ravey thing to try to collect money. But the whole point of the sketch was where I find the rum is like I find a bottle of rum just outside of Trump Tower. But I go, oh, there's the rum. And then the camera pans up to Trump Tower, but then the T and the P fade away, so it just says rum.
When you told me that, I'm like, did you come up with that thought and then build everything else around that? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like, that is the entire reason for the sketch. And then...
like, you bought the costume just because
the
word Trump has rum in it.
Yeah. Because I thought it'd be funny.
No, it is very funny. I mean, I would like to see that. I hope that it sees the light of day. But also, I mean, what's stopping you from, you had the one experience. If you're not happy with it, get out there, man, and make it again.
I mean, I have the full costume. Yeah. I did with a group of friends. We went to the Ren Fair, and that was also, I think that was the first, like, that with the sketch was like, oh, I can just buy this. So I have a costume for the Ren Fair. And then I also have this for the sketch. And yeah, I have all the footage, and then I think I still have all the audio on my phone, but it's like all of my mic stuff is like recorded with this, so I could do some like voiceover stuff probably, and that would be fine. But I should take a look at that sometime because it is still a funny idea. So well, we'll get to it someday, I think.
I mean, look,
this does need to see the light of day.
IoNetRunner in the chat says, there's a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover event in Sea of Thieves right now.
So instead of listening to the show, of listening to the show, he's playing a video game.
Well, you could do both.
Disrespectful.
He could stand to pay more attention to the show, sure. But, but he could do both,
He's providing colorful commentary.
But hey, it's happening, baby. Get on the Sparrow train now or get left behind. On that note, I think we spend more than enough time talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is a top-heavy episode.
Franchise. But let's get on to...
much like how Johnny Depp's head is top-heavy because he has those dreads.
Right, that's why he's always like fucking...
yeah, and they got beads
moving
and
around
stuff.
And
he's got makeup on. He's got that hat.
God damn it. I just thought about... Remember,
top-heavy.
Last thing I'm going to say about it.
And then I have one more thing after that, but yeah, continue.
Last thing I want to say is that horrid few months when me, you, and Nico watched the Trump guy episode of Family Guy where I remember that cutaway gag with Johnny Depp's like fucking like beads making so much noise. And we're like that was the closest thing in the episode to being funny. Like I forgot what they did at the end of it, like the cutaway. But
was this the one where Peter becomes Trump, or is it the one where he fights Trump like a chicken fight?
Are there two?
I just remember like in my a very fun thing to do in Google Images is just Google two characters together, and there will be like some fan art that matches them together. But I remember doing like Peter Griffin like Trump, or it might have also come up when I was trying to do Joe Biden Brian. There's one where Peter has the orange makeup and like the Trump hair, and he's like doing this or whatever.
Yeah, I think I have seen that.
So maybe because they also did that in South Park with like Mr. Garrison's Trump. So I don't know if they like had a thing where they had a character who became Trump. Or,
speaking truth to power.
Speaking of truth to power.
It's called satire, but I think it should be called sat.
We now return to
this
Pirates of the
important.
Caribbean, where the sound guy put the microphone too close to Johnny Depp's jangling bracelets.
Hold it right there, Sparrow. This is the day you will always remember as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
What?
I said, I've spent $65 million on vacation homes and daytime wine.
All right, turn off that cheap celebrity slam.
I cut it off before they ruined the joke. Let's just pretend that that's it. That was good. That was the...
It's good.
It's one of the funniest things I think Family Guy's done in a while.
I don't know how to do the show anymore.
It doesn't matter. What does it matter?
2 minutes of hate. a very famous, very favorite segment of the show where we like to blanket punish all that annoying, random crap that we see on the internet every single day. I'm on my computer, I'm logging on, I'm booting up my Windows 2000, Windows XP computer. It's taking 10, 20 minutes, but I'm on, and I'm going online, and I'm getting, what the fuck?
Sorry, I'm pulling it up so that we have it later. Continue. You're going
We're
online.
gonna watch it again?
No,
Pulling it up to watch again later, so it's preloaded.
I'm not opposed, for the record.
No, just keep going. Keep doing the show.
My 2 minutes of hate this week is flops. Flops, yeah, on Twitter.
Twitter flops?
Or no, to be more specific, a flop era. And I think this might have been a 2 minutes of hate at some point. But I found myself at different points in my life in a flop era. I'm on Twitter and I'm like, oh, this is funny. And I post it. And like 8 seconds go by. I'm like, that was not funny. I'm deleting it.
The post clarity.
Right. That's the word of the week, and we're coining it here. Post clarity.
Post clarity. That's good.
That is good. You should tweet that. No, a flop. I feel like sometimes I don't know, man. Like sometimes I'm like, I need the validation. I'm going to put something on Twitter, and like I'm not confident in it. And I'm like 10 minutes go by and I'm like, that's going away. That's going bye-bye. And I feel like maybe we are our harshest critics. There's some truth to that, because I know I've seen you put up some tweets.
I'm a big tweet deleter.
You're a tweeter deleter. Yeah.
I'm a tweeter deleter. And, I think I'm definitely not as on it as I was probably the past like couple years. I'm still on it too much still. But like, it'll be a thing where either it'll get like 3 likes in 30 or 40 minutes, or
is that a pull the plug for you? Like,
I need to know, like I'm a 10 liker guy, unless it's something that I really like.
That's
if it doesn't get 10
right.
likes, or if it doesn't, if I don't think it's gonna get there, or if it's like close and I really like it. I'll keep it. But for the most part, like a big thing of Twitter is just like, what's the dumbest thing I can think of? And I'll just throw it up there.
Sure.
And that gives you sort of a freedom to either not care and just leave it up, or it's like, I don't care about deleting this because it's just like some of the most random crap I've ever thought of.
But I want to say, like, there's been some stuff that you posted and I thought it was funny, and I go to hit the retweet button, and it's like, this tweet has been deleted.
Yeah, well, that's
what the heck?
I guess also, like, I also operate in I'm sure I'm not alone, of like thinking everyone's online as much as me, or just like if it doesn't like get the likes in a certain amount of time, that that it's but also like the algorithm does. It's the algorithm. It's that doesn't help things with if it doesn't get a certain amount of likes, like it does just get buried, because I feel like most people probably aren't like searching it by latest or on the timeline or something.
I don't know how the fuck people use any of these websites.
What do you? I've never really asked this out loud, or at all. But like, do you guys? This is so pathetic. Do you guys on Twitter do latest or home?
I feel like I was latest
top tweets,
but then they changed it to the default being like the top tweets or whatever.
Yeah,
and I feel like, because I usually tweet from my desktop, because I don't have the app installed on my phone, but
on purpose.
Yeah, but then I just go to it on Chrome, so it's like I have that open on a tab. But
yeah,
so I just have the app. Like, what? Can you sort through
the little like
here.
sparkle in the top right, and the default is top tweets.
Yeah. So yes, you're on. Okay, so here's the pros and cons to this. I know we're kind of getting off topic, but
I need to know this.
So
I've been using Twitter wrong, apparently.
So home shows you like the top tweets for you. I don't know what that means. Latest tweets is chronological, so you'll see the newest shit at the top. My issue with that, the cons to it though is for the top tweets, I don't know what the heck I'm missing out on. The cons to latest tweets is like, I'm not on there constantly. I could be missing out.
You're missing some of the biggest tweets people are putting out there.
And am I meant to flip?
You're missing Eric Alper. You're missing what's
the greatest questions on Twitter.
What's a song that made you cry?
Yeah, what's a movie that came out in 1995 that you will never forget?
What's something you think about that's cool?
What are the dumbest accounts on there for sure? I think we've talked
Hey,
about
we're
him
talking about him.
Yeah, we've talked about him like 3 times on the show. But
I saw a good account the other day that was like Wikipedia out of context, except I made all of them up. And
Those
it was
are
like,
fu-
this
with
is
some of the
good.
niche, like out of context. A lot of those accounts I do like because it like if they take it with because that's like an extra degree of the out of
Right.
context accounts. And
It's
a lot
a
of the out of context
criticism
ones
of the criticisms.
yeah, and
It's
like
sort of a meta analysis.
it's sort of a retweet of a
meta-analyses.
retweet.
A copy of a copy.
No thanks to this NFT. Copy this, my friend. I have the digital certificate of authenticity.
I own this.
Yeah, so it's a picture
Holding
of
up a picture of fucking Garfield.
it's a picture of a Shiba
Zwick,
Inu
edit
being
that in,
breastfed
please.
by Elon Musk.
Yeah, I paid good money for this.
So, so you have a problem
Oh
with
yeah,
this.
flops. No, I want to say we'll give him back to flops though. A couple things about it. Number one, I don't want to base my self-worth off of numbers on this thing. I mean, there's been like some stuff I posted and I'm like, I don't think this is very funny, whatever. It'll get more numbers and like something that I do think is very funny. And it's like, maybe it's just funny to me, but if I have deleted stuff, like I remember like one time we were sitting here to like get ready for an episode. And I think I put up like, I was like a screenshot from the South Park pilot of like Santa versus Jesus. And it was that. Then it said like Kong versus Godzilla 2020. And I'm like, that was up for like 3 seconds. And I'm like, that is not funny. That's going. And like, I just did not have the confidence. And there's
I remember seeing you tweet that, and I think I went to like it, and it was like tweet gone.
I should have fucking kept it up.
Too late now.
Damn it. Justin Wayne could have retweeted that.
Damn.
No, but it's like that. There's some stuff, and like if I think something is very funny and it gets like 2 likes, and I really do truly believe in it, it's not coming down.
Yeah, for sure.
I am saying, look upon my 2 likes with no shame. I stand before you here with my 2 likes, and I say, maybe give me 3. I could. This is something I like. I'm attached to this.
You know, I've as of the past year or so, I've really come to try and embrace the art of self-destruction as much as possible. And
You've added a little
wanna,
chaos in your life.
yeah, a little chaos to, you know, take a couple pills of some different characters that are chaotic characters. And I want to know if either of you do this, but do you ever just like tweet really dumb shit on purpose just to cleanse yourself of the toxicity of your own self-expectation? I was going through this yesterday actually with the death of Donald Rumsfeld.
I was going to say you were going off on him.
I kept tweeting just Ronald Dumpsfeld. Ronald Dumps, like, oh, Ronald Dumpsfeld died. I loved that show.
Hey, what
Just
about this?
Bad.
Ronald McTrumpsfield.
Incredible.
In the Seinfeld font.
Do you ever do that just to embrace your own like humanity?
I have gotten kind of pigeonholed where that is like where I live with my tweets is just like really dumb stuff.
Like, I feel like I have some good stuff, but then it's like you try and do the good stuff, and it's just like, people don't like this.
It doesn't matter either way.
It doesn't. None of it matters.
Fuck F.
I just want a Twitter following just so people watch and listen to the show.
Yes.
That's all I fucking care. Like, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff aside from we can do this show every week. That's all I care about, you know?
Were you about to say something?
I was going to say, I don't mean to backtrack,
No, backtrack.
but
It's your 2
are you the
minutes.
one who runs that Jack Sparrow?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Because I think like within an hour of each other, I post, because you said Donald Rumsfeld died. I posted, why is all the Rumsfeld gone? And then without seeing it, like an hour later, he went on the Jack Sparrow con, posted the same thing. And I'm like, sir, with all due respect. And I think I got a retweet from Jack Sparrow himself, which that was pretty huge for me.
Incredible.
It's always meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, no.
Do you have a Do you have a punishment for your flops?
Oh, I have a punishment for my flops. They should. I have to. Okay, I have a punishment. I'm the one putting them up. I'm punishing myself. I have to flog myself when I post a flop. If a tweet does not reach 10 likes, no matter how much I may enjoy it or be attached to it, I take out the old nine tails whip, whoosh, whoosh, hit myself 30 lashes. I flog. That's what a flog is, right?
30 lashes.
I think it's not with. I think a flog isn't it with like a bamboo pole?
Let me look it up.
It might as well be a whip.
It's
like a really supple like.
It's a Celtic punk rock band. They play. It's
To flog is to beat someone with a whip or stick as punishment or torture. Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Tweet better, you stupid idiot. And then that's how I came up with the Rumsfeld thing.
Yeah. We got the lashes to prove it.
You do not want to see. Ian, what's your 2 minutes of hate? What's bothering you?
Well, I think I might have to turn this 2 minutes of hate into. I might have to merge with a little segment of my own. I know it's not quite Friday.
We are dangerously close.
But some people call Thursday Friday Junior.
Oh, God.
People in the office by the water cooler will say Thursday is sort of Friday Junior.
That's good.
So I'm merging my week's 2 minutes of hate with a little TGI. What the F?
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just bracing myself. I don't know what the heck he's going to say.
Okay, so my 2 minutes of hate and my TGI. What the F? So we have had quite the year due to the novel coronavirus.
Yeah,
hospitals have been packed. Doctors, nurses, staff, the turnover rate is insane, and they're exhausted.
Some of these doctors, they don't even have borders. Do you believe
They're
that?
doctors without borders. Their fill color is just spilling out all over the hospital.
Yeah. It's a shame.
And yet, I am finding on Twitter that despite the crowding in the hospital, despite the pandemic, the countless deaths, that these doctors are finding time to do surgery on a grape? I mean, are you kidding me? I'm seeing videos, I'm seeing posts, I'm seeing pictures that these so-called doctors, and that's why I think this whole thing is a fake. This virus never happened. They're doing surgery. Let me just let this sink in for a second for the viewers at home. Mom, Dad, turn the volume up. They're doing surgery on a grape. And honestly, I'm looking at these posts, I'm looking at these pictures, and I'm just going to myself, TGI, what the F?
Hey, you're saying what we're all thinking, all right?
I just can't. I'm beside myself. And especially with healthcare.
Seriously.
With healthcare these days, how expensive it is. I mean, by the time that grape pays off his bills, he might as well be a bottle of Chianti. Beb. And that's making me go, TGI, what the F? Junior, Friday, Junior, Thursday.
Dude, I hate that I actually know people who do say Friday Junior.
It's such the most normie core, like most boring shit.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck everything.
But so, yeah, 2 minutes of hate, TGI, what the F?
Yeah, I'll say.
That is where I'm coming from. And so my punishment, my punitive damage for this, maybe we send those doctors away. We lock them up in the gulag, comrade. Yes, my leftist king, you've dropped this DSA membership card. The doctors that are doing... Okay, so my punishment is maybe we get the grape lady to stomp on the grape.
Okay.
And maybe we get her in the mix, and maybe we actually give the grape something to do surgery about.
Yeah. I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard the grape actually did catch the novel coronavirus and was receiving the same treatment that former President Trump was getting, experimental drugs.
There's a picture of the grape in that weird like 70s like presidential hospital suite. And then the grape is like at the supermarket like with all the other grapes, but there's this one grape who's like on the ledge and he's just like breathing through his teeth like super like heavily and beleaguered, just like
You know, as the resident Johnny Depp expert, what do you think was eating Gilbert Grape? Do you have an answer?
I think it was
Careful now.
there's a lot of ways you could go that would
We
be
do not
very
want to
wrong.
get canceled tonight, okay?
Yeah. So leave Leo out of it. I think what was eating Gilbert Grape, Hannibal Lecter, with a nice bottle of said Chianti.
This all makes sense now.
Yep,
This
it's
is
coming
all.
around.
If Q was in the room right now, his mind would be just blown. Q, the guy, Q, the
Cubert?
no Q
The letter. The
The-
man, the letter.
You're saying cube?
the
Cube? With
Hey,
a Q?
rest in peace, though.
who died?
John McAfee.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming he was
do
Q.
peop-
I don't know.
Q of the Anon.
Oh,
fortune.
yes.
Yeah.
With the
No,
masks.
Q. Can no one hear me?
I can fucking hear you. Now I'm confused.
Cumer?
Cumer.
Are you talking
The
about 29-year-old
QAnon or Cumer?
Hardly know her.
Fuck this show. Fuck this show.
So what? So we did the punishment. So
Yes.
it's my turn.
Yeah.
Now it is your turn.
I'd like to slam on the brakes and flip a bitch and turn back the other way and then build
What
off
does that mean
of
again?
what.
Flip a bitch.
It's like when you just do a U-turn, I think. It's just a misogynistic U-turn.
Why did we call it that?
I don't know.
You guys? Is this like
Just me and Grant.
Lord,
No, just me and Grant. Yeah.
Only we created the term.
Why did we do
because
that?
I want to piggyback off of Kevin's issue with Twitter and tweeting. And
Are you?
so
I'll let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but
it's gonna be a detour, but we're gonna get back to it. Here's how to preface this. So it was my birthday a couple days ago, and actually, as of recording right now, today is Kevin's birthday.
that's right.
Everyone wish us a happy birthday. I'm looking at the
is
camera.
today your
right there.
birthday?
It is. That's why I wore the shirt. It says for the listeners at home who are not watching, it says it's a Kevin thing. You wouldn't understand.
Is that because
I
of
still don't
Kevin Smith?
No, it's from Kevin from the Minions. No, I actually
He got an ad on Instagram
Yeah,
and
this
said,
is-
I have to buy this shirt.
there was actually a whole bunch of shirts that were like this, and I'm like, that is so cool. I gotta get one.
That'd be really funny if it was like it's a Kevin thing was like lowered a little bit, and above it was that one Kevin Smith tweet where he said he was like gonna eat his girlfriend's like butthole or something, like a
Poning my girl's
poning my girls.
her brown or something. What
Yeah.
the fuck nasty
Her brown
shit did
eye.
he say?
He's usually crying in tweets.
Yeah, something about the
I was
tweet.
crying reading that tweet.
Why would that? So you,
Anyway,
let me-
And it's the Kevin Smith like cry reaction whenever he watches like a Marvel movie or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I think it's beautiful, and I hope that's why you were crying too. You say,
So-
"What a beautiful act of affection."
So, it's your birthday. What happens on your birthday? We've lived in this planet long enough to know that Mark Zuckerberg and all of his evil robots send out a notification to all of your friends on Facebook and all of your friends and people you don't even remember anymore. They say, hey, happy birthday. And you go, yeah, okay, whatever. Right.
sure.
We all experience this. It doesn't matter. But so I'm getting these notifications. They're popping up on my phone. And I'm like, I'm on Facebook for the first time in like years. Like, I don't fucking go on Facebook anymore.
I feel like I have to on my birthday because I'm getting birthday wishes, and if I don't like them, people are going to think like, what does he not like me? It's like, no, I just don't like Facebook.
Right. IO Netrunner, I guess, is making a big... Why would you put your birthday on Facebook? Because it's on there and because I didn't take it off. Okay? Because I don't even know how to work the website anymore because I haven't logged in 5 years. Okay? But I was thinking back to my Facebook days, and, you know, I was an angsty teen. You know, I was an angsty teen. I was an angsty 20-year-old. And I think of all the
30-year-old now,
times...
too.
Now I'm an angsty 30-year-old. And I think back to all the times that I put something up on Facebook as a joke to be some sort of weird, ironic contrarian. You know, all throughout my entire, like, 20s, a good chunk of my 20s, I was putting my life on Facebook to less than 500 people. And I feel like I blew it. That all of these thoughts, for a long time, I was just a late adapter to so much media that I should have been taking these thoughts and I should have been putting them on Twitter. And that if I had done that however long ago, I took all these dumb, ironic, stupid fucking dumb jokes. I just scroll through my timeline and I look at the type of shit that I was putting and I was like, this might have done well on Twitter. What? I just wasn't using Twitter. I was using Facebook because that's just like, I know the people on Facebook. I interact with this shit. I didn't know it was going to turn into this weird post-ironic hellscape apocalyptic fucking nightmare website where people leech off of this toxic fucking behavior that I was exemplifying on Facebook, and I feel like I'd fucking blew it, you know? And so my 2 minutes of hate, I guess, is regret.
Wow. Finally, regret comes up. Something we're finally taking it down.
Yeah, what ep is this?
I don't know.
218, I think. If we count the live show as 217.
Yeah. So you're upset that you weren't like properly commodifying yourself. You're thinking,
Yeah.
and I get that to some extent, but sometimes it's like I think back, like why was I wasting my time in high school hanging out with my fucking friends? I could be famous by now, and it's like, yeah, I guess, but I was also like having fun with my friends
there's
as I was a
also people
teenager.
like
And
that,
also the people, I feel like it's like kind of a toss up with the people who blew up like early on Twitter are like not necessarily like, I don't know, you wouldn't be any happier.
That's true. I wouldn't be.
Twitter was better back then. I didn't really start using it actively until like 2014, I want to say.
I think I only started using it like when we were listening to The Biggest Problem, and I just tweet at the hosts of the show, Maddox and Dick.
And that was like, oh, this is a fun
when
application.
I started using Twitter. I never fucking used Twitter up until then, and it's just like, man, I should have always been posting.
I remember my criticism of Twitter back in like, because I got one in like 2009 and didn't obviously touch it for like 5 years. But my criticism was like, so it's just like famous people and it's like Facebook, but it's only for status updates. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
See, that's what I thought too. And like Conan used to have an entire segment on it back during his old show. And then when he wasn't allowed on TV, that's when he started using Twitter because
Too hot for TV.
Yeah.
The Conan O'Brien story.
It was. What was his tour? It was like not legally allowed on television or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like he had
Jay Leno
an
being
entire
like, it's on
segment. He had an entire segment
site
on
is
late
Twitter.
night where he would just read like Ashton Kutcher tweeted, making a bowl of Cheerios. And he's just like, who would tweet? What is this shit? This is stupid.
But like there was a funny part of Twitter that we weren't seeing as much at the time. It was like the people, like the remnants of like somethingawful.com.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those guys who moved over to Twitter and were posting on there. And it's way funnier than anything on Twitter now. All Twitter is, I mean, I will say like in the early 2010s, I was on Tumblr. And I use that, like, I use Twitter now, just like...
I use Tumblr a little bit,
I remember, like,
too,
we followed
yeah.
each other
Yeah.
on there, and, like, that's how that's how I met a handful of people who we're friends with now. I mean, yeah, there was, like, an embarrassing side of it, but it was mostly, kind of, like, using it for, like, humorous means. Trickster means,
right,
you know? And that was, and I think, I stopped using that when I started using Twitter at some point. But even then, I wasn't like super active on Tumblr.
Yeah,
but
no,
I was like,
same.
posting the dumbest shit on Facebook, just like the dumbest.
Yeah, and there's
shit.
part of me that's like, okay, I'm glad that like some of the stuff I went through and deleted, because it's like, obviously, you know, when you're putting everything out there and it's like to a small select group of people, it's going to be different. But I like, you know, there's things where it's like, oh, you go through a breakup and you say some dumb shit and you're like, I sure am glad I didn't like tweet that to a million people. But also, like, there are times when it's like I like irony post just insane shit and then get in arguments with people that I would like disengage with and just like take the joke further. But it was like, oh, that's also like my family and friends that don't get that it's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like I should have been doing that to strangers on the internet. And I'm thinking about this again, all because I just like fucking pop on Facebook for a day. And it's like, man, what would have become of me if I was posting like this earlier? I don't know.
You know, I feel like you act as if that's like a missed opportunity for you. But at the same
Right.
time, I think that maybe
Maybe it was better.
dodged
but
a
I
bullet.
It could have been.
Well, my kind of thing about that is don't cry because you didn't do that, but smile because
Because it
you
happened.
had your whole life.
Dr. Seuss.
Well, I
And
was.
by the way, Dr. Seuss, we're canceling authors now? So there's no free speech at all? We're just canceling authors left and right. I'm sorry. Did the FDA finally read Green Eggs and Ham? It's called a book for kids. Maybe you should try reading an adult book like Angels and Demons or Da Vinci Code.
Right.
Or these days it's more like the Da Vinci Code.
Dude, you can't fucking say that, man.
Man, that's too far.
I'm pushing buttons on my freaking Xbox controller. This thing's so big. The original Xbox.
Dude, it was too big. That was like, when that came out, I was like, I'm not getting one of these things. I can't hold the controller.
It's a frisbee with buttons.
Right.
Is that what? Did someone say that? Or
No, I
is
just
that
thought,
original
I just thought of it
Wow.
now.
It's good. Dude,
That's why,
that
like,
would
I
have
feel like I said then there was like a little bit of like confidence behind it too.
It sounded like you heard it somewhere.
that would have killed in 2001.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dude, you should have been a comic.
You should have
back then.
posted that.
I guess my punishment, we're talking about Facebook, we're talking about Twitter, and Kevin, you brought up Tumblr.
And you brought up regrets.
And I brought up regrets and how if I could go back in time and change everything, I would. So I think what that distills into, the pure essence, is if you go back to Tumblr, what was like one of the worst fandoms of time? I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, too many
Right.
to name.
But there's some fandoms that destroyed entire media franchises.
Cashew in the,
The
real quick. Cashew in the
first-
chat says super Hulock.
Yep. So
I hate that.
what I have to do now, I think, is punishment as self-flagellation, is in order to go back in time and to undo all of these Facebook posts and become an early Twitter adopter, whatever, same difference. Who cares? Don't police my language, please. It's called thought cops, not language cops.
Yeah, my punishment is I have to go back in time and become super famous. What are you
I
talking
have to
about,
go
man?
back in time. No, I have to go back in time and become a Tumblr Whovian.
Okay, that's fair. That's
That's
fair.
my punishment.
But what if, like-
is that Doctor Who and
So Super Hulock is, I
It's
think,
Supernatural, Doctor Who.
yeah.
and
but,
was there a show
Sher-
called Sherlock?
Sherlock.
Yeah, that makes sense.
but yeah, because fucking like the Tumblr fandom of Doctor Who was just like,
Awful.
I remember like I started watching the David Tennant Doctor Who and I was like, this is a pretty good show. And then like it was the other guy, it was the Matt Smith guy, and then there was like the whole Tumblr thing, and that's when people started calling themselves Whovians and like dressing up for conventions and stuff. And I was like, I don't think I like this anymore.
Also, she mentions here in the chat, Grant could pull off a Onceler cosplay.
I don't know what that is.
It's so you remember the Lorax?
Uh-huh.
And then like they did the reboot of it, like the CGI one. And this is another thing on Tumblr where people would get like hyper fixated. Like they would get horny for like one very specific thing where like the whole website was like wanting to fuck the Onceler.
Was the Onceler the guy who made the Thneed?
I think. Yeah, like Grant's pulling it up here. See, look at this. Oh, I see. Right there. That actually does kind of look like you 10 years ago.
If I don't have the beard, I guess.
And you did shave.
The Onceler, the D&D guy from Harmontown?
Wait, what the? Was there no? Who the hell was that?
That's the
people at home
Sixler.
watching.
I think that's his like Twitter handle.
Here's the Onceler right here. I mean, I can see it. He looks he kind of looks like a.
And if you scroll any further down, I can guarantee it's probably like porn.
I won't.
Yeah.
But he looks like a Panic at the Disco or a Fallout Boy guy.
There's like penises
One of
coming
those
out of every
guys.
hole in a Thneed.
And it's like this. I don't know how or why these things happen on there, but they just do.
Well, it's because it's a guy who looks kind of good in a fedora, and that's like such a vibe. I feel like by like Tumblr people
Like
or like
Tumblr 2010
fandom people
you can pull off
like,
a fedora. Holy
well, like
crap!
wanting to pull off a fedora and feeling like you're like Bobby Caldwell or something, but like you're just like a guy who looks like me, and you're just like maybe this will teach me how to talk to girls.
I mean, it worked for the Onceler.
It worked for the Onceler, the CGI guy who freaking ruined capitalism.
It's about time too.
Oh man.
Speaking of ruining capitalism, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and unusual punishment. And boy, let me tell you, if I could cruelly and unusually punish IKEA right now for their poor interior design, I would.
So, as of recording, today's July 1st. Pride Month has come to an end. And just at the very tail end of Pride Month, IKEA unveiled LGBTQ-themed sofas. And you're probably thinking, TGI, what the F? You know?
I have them up on the screen right here.
So as we can see, we have, and these are kind of fucking crazy. Like these are like, whatever, if you're listening right now and you're not seeing this, imagine the craziest fucking couches in the world. That's what we're looking at here. So we have the asexual couch, the transgender couch,
The critical race theory couch.
the lesbian couch. Now, some of these, like, okay, some of like the transgender couch just has like some different like color splotches and
That's
stuff
a nice
on it.
couch.
Looks like relatively like a normal fucking couch. The asexual couch has the purple, gray, whatever. Like, it looks like it kind of looks like a giant pussy.
It kind of looks like
got a vaginal.
It looks like a sideways pussy if the pussy was like kind of shaped as the continental United States.
Exactly. If you're listening
yeah.
at home, you're probably picturing that in your head perfectly. And then the other one here, what's it say here? The ally couch, or like I think it's the progress couch, which I don't know how that fits into LGBTQ, but just the idea of progress, this couch is crazy as hell. It's just a normal couch with a bunch of fake flowers growing out of it from the top, the bottom, the sides. Looks kind of uncomfortable to sit on.
Well, it's like you're either going to ruin like how the couch was decorated or it's not comfortable. I actually got kind of I got a new place recently and I was looking at couches and like there are some really weird couches out there that I don't think are necessarily like for mass production sale, but like this is one of the weirder ones. But there was one that was like designed to look like a big JanSport backpack, and it has like all these different zippers and like there's like a couch that's like a big pig. There's a couch that's like a bunch of like little balls that you like lay on and can like. I mean, it looks like fun to have, but it's like. I would like go to a place that has this couch, but I wouldn't want it in my house. There's a couch that's like a coffin. That's kind of cool, but
like if you have like a goth themed cafe shop, that would be great.
Yeah, or there's a couch that's like $18,000 and it just looks like it's called like the snake pit, but it's just like a bunch of, it looks like if you put like velvet around a bunch of like pool noodles and then just like made a big like nest of that. And it's like this stuff looks kind of fun. $18,000 fun? No, but like it's like interesting, but like this
And then imagine just like having to clean that. Someone's gonna fucking spill something.
You can't clean it. It's like how in the like Chuck E. Cheese AMAs, how they always said there's always like poop at the bottom of the ball pits.
It's like, do not drink red wine on my progress couch, please. So if you scroll down here, Grant, the most infamous one we haven't even touched on yet is the bisexual couch. Now, if you can see this at home, this is fucking crazy.
It's called the bisexual couch because as soon as you get it, you can say bye-bye to any sex on that freaking couch.
Because the chair or the fucking couch is creepy. It's like covered in hands.
Yeah,
like,
what does that have to do with being bisexual? Like, you just want everyone's hands to touch your ass?
I think it's
kind of aggressive if you think about it.
I think it's saying that the main villain in My Hero Academia is bisexual, and it's kind of.
I was thinking him or the one guy with the hands in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah. I made a tweet about that.
What the hell's up with hands in modern show? Folks, what is up with hands in villains in modern shonen series?
Easy to draw. You just gotta.
Hands are the hardest thing to draw. Like, why?
Well,
they're choosing. Oh, I don't
they're shapes.
So
I thought hair was the hardest thing to draw, which is why Super Saiyan Goku had blonde hair, so he didn't have to color it in anymore.
Yeah, maybe he just used the fill tool. So we see here the pillows say when you
change nobody or to and believes you.
You gotta read one pillow at a time, Grant. It says
no.
I mean, no, trust me. I did the same thing you did.
You read right to left. It says when you change nobody or to and believes you.
Well, if this couch was a manga, you would read right to left. So it'd be nobody you believes, change you when and to or.
But really, though, even if you read it like normally, it does take a second to kind of click in. It says when you change or to and, nobody believes you.
Can you see? I think on the IKEA website, I don't know if it's still up, but they had like the people who designed all the couches. And it has like a little profile about them.
They do on this page. If you scroll down, Grant, you'll see this.
Oh, is this?
Yeah.
Spoken word poet Brian Lanigan pictured on IKEA's bisexual couch, which was inspired by his work.
Again, like this is a great art piece. Like if I saw this in like some sort of installation, I would be like, that's kind of interesting. Can I sit on? Sure. And they're like, hey, can I sit on that? Sure. Oh, cool. I'm going to go sit in the bisexual couch. See how that feels. And then stand up again. But it's not something I don't think anybody wants the grabby hands couch in their living room. I mean, this is too far for IKEA. IKEA is like build a futon that is gray.
It's going to fall apart in 5 months because it's made out of particle board.
Yeah. And if that's what it says, are we looking at just a series of pieces of particle board covered by hands? And for the record, this is like a bright pink, bright purple couch. And all the hands are like hot pink, bright pink, all over the place. And they're not just pictures or like, they're not like prints of hands on the cushion. They are actual plastic hands that are covering the circumference, the surface of the entire couch. It's crazy. It's madness.
I mean, again, how the fuck do you like... If you spill something on it's either ruined or it blends in perfectly. Maybe that's what they're hoping.
Spill whatever the fuck you want on the bisexual couch. I don't give a shit about that. Do not drink anything on my asexual couch. Guy who just collects all of these.
And what do you even do with it? Like you can't. Most of these, I feel like you can't really sit in. So it's like a piece, but it's like, I mean, like at a museum or like an art museum when they have like a chair from like a very nice chair, it's like I want to sit in it, but I can't because it's art. But it's like if you're buying that for your house as like a decoration, it's
right. Like get a picture of you sitting on it for Instagram. Get up and move on with your life. You do not need this in your rumpus room. No rump. My rump wouldn't feel very comfortable sitting on a bunch of hands.
Well, hey, here's a post for you, and guys listening at home, you feel free to tweet this one out. This is a free one for you. The original bisexual couch, and it's the palm, the hand chair.
Oh, like the plastic thing?
Yeah, that's like shaped that they have at Planet Fitness.
I think my joke like that was like the lips couch.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The lips couch is fun, though.
Where did you find that?
I just Googled lips couch.
I was like, I thought that was like from the IKEA collection because I saw you post on.
No.
Hey, wasn't that the freaking doctor from Rugrats, Dr. Lips couch?
Jesus Christ.
That should not have hit as well as it did for anyone.
But yeah, I mean, a bunch of people, as we're sort of talking about, were making their own tweets, as you can imagine, their own couches,
And they're funny forever, not just the first hour.
It kind of falls into a bad. I mean, not that this was. I don't know how well or poorly thought out it was, but it's like, and you know, I don't want to get too far into identity politics, but it's like the more specific couches you have to represent the identities, the more angry you're going to make the identities that you like leave out from having couches or whatever.
Yeah.
right.
And, you know, not that these were already like getting like bad press as it is, but it's like in defining all of these things, it's like you are kind of like drawing circles around communities that are also sort of like leaving people out or whatever. I don't know. As a straight white man, I feel like,
Yeah, the chat also called us out earlier for once again 3 straight cis white dudes mansplaining an LGBT couch, but this is the show, man. This is what we have to do. I mean,
I could put the Jack Sparrow.
No, yeah, that would actually be a huge help.
It would help
bisexual icon Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. I guess I think there are articles written about him being a bisexual. Because like he's like, well, when he was talking to this one pirate, he was being sort of flirtatious.
Hey, if you get enough rum in you, you know, who knows what the hell's going to happen.
I think he said that.
Also, there's an image of Jack Sparrow rendered as like a Hindu god, and was saying that that the character design was like drawn inspiration from him.
What?
And he's like this big blue guy. It's really great.
So what's the punishment here?
Fucking hell,
What's
For the bisexual couch.
Or just the couches in general. I don't.
I got nothing.
I got one of those desk risers. You know, you get one of those. Hey,
Yeah.
quit sitting so much. That's bad for you.
It is.
How about some representative standing desks?
Or how about all the corporations who back Pride? They have to buy up all the remaining Pride couches that didn't sell.
Yeah, how about they have to actually use these couches?
Yeah.
I think that's the worst punishment. Is like, yeah, sit on the couch that has plastic hands all over
At the
it.
Wells Fargo
Yeah.
waiting room.
Yeah. You like gay people so much. Sit on
Why don't you marry them?
Speaking of gay,
Actually, yes. This just in, and I'm not. This is a headline. NFL releases powerful video. Quote: "Football is gay."
powerful.
We're gonna watch this here. This comes with breaking news from TMZ. This football is gay. Lesbian.
No, it's not.
Beautiful.
There are no
Queer,
lesbians.
life, exciting, transgender.
They're just
heart,
doing
power,
word
puck.
salad. It's just football is freedom. Football is
Football is
American.
chuggy. Football is
everything.
Football is lit, fam.
NFL. NFL proudly supports the Trevor Project.
Wasn't there like I remember like 5 years ago, like the first openly gay football player got drafted, but then he got ran out of the league, or like he got cut and then no one signed him. And it's good that they're like being more progressive. I mean, it's like by default because
Kind of a lazy video. I actually didn't watch it before recording, but I was like,
I mean, what's
it's a
there to
PowerPoint.
watch? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the headline says powerful video. I was expecting something like the CIA video.
Oh, I was expecting a freaking a big linebacker about to tackle.
You were expecting full frontal porn.
Yeah, I was expecting full frontal porn from the NFL.
Well, I think, Kevin, more so to your point. So this video came out on the 28th, which again is at like the very tail end of Pride Month. I think it like was a PowerPoint. I think that they were just like, shit, we haven't done anything yet. Do we have the video? No. And they're like, just put words on a screen. I don't know. Football's gay.
Powerful video in the fourth quarter of Pride Month. We might call that a Hail Mary.
I'll say.
That's a good.
No,
That's pretty good.
I appreciate that. It's also like I have a hard time not being cynical with any of this stuff where it's just like, yeah, they just want your money. They just
But it's
want
also
your
like,
money.
I feel like most people who are really invested in the NFL, like that's like, who is that for? Like, are they? Maybe they're trying to get like widen their audience, but I don't think that video is going to really do anything.
And I remember as a 2 Minutes of Hate a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about, the sort of grappling with the concept of like people using these social movements to sell more products. And the idea that like, okay, well, 10 years ago, you couldn't make a video being like outwardly supportive of these things. And it is progress in the way that Malcolm X said that progress is, saying that progress is happening is like stabbing someone with a knife 9 inches and then pulling it out 6 inches and calling it progress. That being said, saying football is gay seems like 90s schoolyard ish. Like football's gay. Like that's what it comes off as. It's weird. It's weird. No one was like, yeah, man.
Well,
okay.
the person who probably either came up with that or like was making the video doesn't get paid enough to like, they hate their jobs probably enough too, where they're like, this is funny. And it's like, this is such a bad idea. But like, I'm not going to say anything because it's like, I don't care enough to like point out that this is like, but also it could also be like a, not to, you never know with stuff like this. Cause it's also like, it was like, fodder for the internet to like share and repost. And it's like a lot, it went viral with that. And it's like, if that's what they're trying to, I guess they won with that. It's like, I guess I'm always on the fence of like, with like the planned virality of like, the rage retweet or
it feels very artificial.
Right. But also it's
of
like,
course.
you also can't discount just how dumb and out of touch a lot of these people are too.
True.
Yeah.
I have a punishment, or at least part of a punishment.
Yeah, go for it.
The NFL should change the Chicago Bears mascot to the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
I'm 100% with you. Yeah.
Trying to think of some of the other ones.
I was thinking of trying to armchair quarterback, but he's actually on the progress couch.
There are certain sports teams that are now, thanks to racism being over, do not have mascots and don't even have names.
Fill it in.
The Washington Redskins, as we all know, I think we talked about
Washington football
on the show,
team.
Are the Washington football team.
That's like an irony, bro, or like normcore, like
Right.
Well, but they're technically like just sort of nameless right now. They
I
don't
do
have
like
a
that better
mascot.
than
they
the
don't
Redskins.
have a name. Well, I don't.
The Washington gay guys.
Well,
The big homos.
You
It's like,
said,
we'll do better. No more Redskins, just the big homosexuals.
or you said Chicago Bears. Why not the Washington Seals, the Washington Otters?
Is
the
Seals
Washington,
a thing?
I think so. Yeah. Cashew in the chat was listing off names. The Cleveland Carpet Munchers. Sorry, Leo. I don't know if that's good.
Otters, seals. The other example. Where am I at the Shedd
the
Aquarium's
Twinks?
mammal exhibit or a list of things?
Your example was list of things.
That's pretty gay.
Take it from there. Keep the ball going.
Hey man, you can shove things in your ass.
Washington things. There we go. Be whatever you
The Washington sports ball.
Fucking got him.
no.
Speaking of gotting him, have y'all heard of Getter?
Getter.
It's
I think it's what is it? It's another like
just read that.
it's another what's the like? It's another alt-right Twitter or social media thing.
It's a free speech platform that subsequently bans a lot of speech, but
that always
more or
does
less.
work out.
What's the other alt-right one that's like Parler?
there's
And then there's
Parler
another
and
one,
there's
right?
Gab.
And Gab, yeah.
Which Gab, I don't know. I don't know why the alt-right would pick Gab, because I feel like Gab like has like a misogynistic undertone of like, oh, people gab, you know, like women be gabbing.
Right,
it's like, why'd
right.
you pick that? Like,
Because
when you
they
hate-
are gabbing on there.
But also you
Yeah.
have to have a dumb name for like any app or like
Getter,
social media.
for example.
Getter. There's a classic. Classic.
right.
Remove the vowel at the
right.
end.
It's, of course, GETTR.
Will they ever buck that trend, do you think? Not that Getter's like ever going to be bigger than this news story, but like,
I don't know. I mean, it's like I have to constantly remind myself that Tinder is spelled like
Tinder's
normal.
normal. Yeah. Or will there be a new thing that's like annoying or like fresh at first? I don't know.
We don't really have new things anymore. We just we came out with like Facebook, Twitter.
TikTok is the
and-
newest.
That is true. That is true. But there's no like, I feel like you have to have like, I don't know, an R at the end.
I think it's a I think
I don't like where this is
I think every generation will get like a new
so
main app.
former Trump spokesperson Jason Miller has started a new social media app.
And the headline here, if you want to scroll back up, is funny. Trump nowhere to be found on Twitter clone his former spokesperson launch.
Why would he? Why he doesn't want to talk to any of the people?
I love that is the appeal for all these things. Where like when Trump got pulled off of Twitter, yeah, I heard he's coming to this one. And he doesn't show up because he doesn't give a fuck.
He wants to
about
talk to,
anybody
like-
on there.
Like celebrities and stuff,
Right.
and none of them are
Right,
going to come to
right.
this. And also, all of these people don't like. They would never want to be. There's nothing that they themselves want to talk about. Their whole thing is they're reactionaries. They want to like get
Right.
pissed at liberals and
You
like.
can't be reactionary if you have nothing to react to, because
No.
it just turns
What do
into
they do on there?
They just agree with each other about how great Trump was and like how you used to be able to say like slurs.
it
They're off
is
topic
like-
thread. Anybody get the new Mario Golf?
Or no, honestly, it's a short-lived breeding ground for like grifters. Because like there will be people who think that Trump's going to be there or that this is going to be the next big thing, and they're too dumb to not to get a sense of like the awareness. But then you have people who maybe have similar ideological beliefs, but they're like, I can sell them the new the new Trump like shirt or hat or something, and like they can or like tickets to this rally or like. That's all it is it's just
Right, right.
A quick little flash in the pan marketing thing for grifters to grift these like dumb fucking
Though,
idiots.
to your point, though, of everybody agreeing with each other, I feel like these platforms the successful ones would not exist without having conflict. I mean, I think that Trump being off Twitter left people, and people leaving Twitter to go to Gab or Parler or I don't know if anybody's on Getter, but
I don't know if it's come out yet, but it's been announced.
I've seen so much more left infighting on Twitter in the last couple months than ever, and it's just because people like if you're not people, but these apps and these sites thrive and exist off conflict, and like they are made to breed that, and then the people on there feed into it, and they don't realize they're feeding into it, so they just fight with each other, even though they are. That's probably what's happening on these other ones too. People who may agree with each other politically are finding these microcosms of things that they don't agree on, and then getting mad online.
I mean, I also do think that inherently criticism is more interesting than just agreement. And I do think that that's where, when we're talking about like Gab and Parler and shit like that like, yeah, you run out of steam and you run out of things to talk about when everything's just like, hey, do you guys love America? And they're like, yeah, we fucking love America. We want to fuck the flag. And you're like, I want to fuck the flag too. And then it's like,
Me first.
What do you talk about? Yeah, me first. And then it devolves into like weird fighting and weird like, oh, well, you know, you're a libertarian. Well, I'm a paleo conservative. Fuck you. Like it always breaks down to that, because it's just like, if you don't disagree with some people over some things, like it's not like all the most interesting shit on the internet is always criticism, you know? And I think it can be more or less toxic, and there's better and worse ways to engage with it. And I definitely think that like algorithms do lend themselves more to just like negative toxicity, because it's like a bunch of people want to fucking jump on and pile on and stuff like that. But I also think that that's just human nature to like want to differentiate things sometimes. And I don't think that that's necessarily bad, but yeah, I mean, the whole leftist infighting thing is becoming unbearable on Twitter. Like, I feel like it just takes over my feed, and it's just like, I really don't care about an argument that Bernie's former press secretary and Noam Chomsky had like a year and a half ago.
Well,
Yeah.
I
don't care.
Yeah,
man.
I feel like I feel like with the pandemic and Trump, like, not to say that, like, I don't totally agree with, like, Twitter definitely is worse since Trump left, but I don't think that is the total thing. I think that, like, the hyper focusing constantly, the media, like, focusing on how, like, much of an idiot and, like, how bad and crazy stuff is getting, like, brought more people online, and then the pandemic happened, and then everyone was like my levels of, or our levels of, like, always
Yes,
online.
yes.
And then when he left, it's like people are still online as much, but, like, there isn't this, like, focus, and, like, there isn't really a great, like, release mechanism to, like cool people down. But I also feel like in a post like Trump world, and especially I would say maybe more like a post like with just like how the pandemic unfolded, like the world that we're living in now, just like so much like stuff that you could throw up on Twitter as like a humorous thing. I feel like so that like hyper aged a lot of types of humor, where it's like saying like spaghetti is like it's like shoelaces you can eat, like that sort of thing.
Right,
where
right.
it's like that stuff, like, no, there's like no, like, not even that was like super funny before, but it's like stuff like the like kind of twee, like,
Right,
cute type,
right.
like,
Yeah.
that's, I feel like people are kind of doing that again, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like with the last 4 years, and especially the last year with the pandemic, has just jaded a lot of people, or at least to me, where it's just like the dumb posts like that. It has to have a little bit of an edge, or it has to have,
of
like,
course, yeah. Because
something-
otherwise it's like two blue aliens saying your face is leaking, and he says, I am experiencing internal emotions that lead to external waterworks coming from my eyes, and then
or it's like
the
two
alien
blue
pats
aliens
each
in a
other.
spaceship, and they're going like, I'm blue, abba dee abba die.
Right, and then you find out that the alien's maker is severely anti-abortion, and you're like, well, that's an interesting fact. That
Can't wait for that
maybe
TV show to come out, everybody.
Maybe I'll bring up. Yeah, isn't Dan Harmon
Yeah.
part of that?
Yes, he is.
Incredible.
So, I don't know, man. To your point, though, Ian, like, we talk a lot about on the show about these news cycles that are hyper rapid, like they're short, they're intense, and they're just gone, like flashes in the pan. And that's kind of how, like, I do, you mentioned humor aging. I think that's kind of happening with humor as well, where it's like, you know, people say comedy doesn't age well, whether it's like offensive or if it's just like old stuff is like too slow or whatever, whether you believe in that, it's all subjective. But now, yeah, we are at a point where, you know, types of humor are coming and going and cycling in and out so
Right.
fucking fast. And it kind of makes the whole act feel very meaningless. And it's even being a part of whatever, like, and I'm laughing because I was thinking about a tweet you had about like Twitter's main character of the day.
Oh, was that the Rumsfeld one? Well, I do think that, like,
But like that, the idea of making fun of the Twitter character of the day, that I was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm right there up there with you, because it's like we're standing above this sort of like, this is all it is, this main character of the day, main thing of the day. I know it's like I'm a little bit
well, when the commentary gets like memed and kind of gets rolled into the ball of like how people talk about how people talk about you know, Twitter and the Twitter main character. Who's today's main character?
Don't be the main character.
Let's just say you don't want to be the main character. Like that started as like was it a maple cocaine tweet or the boat guy, pixelated boat. I felt like I was one of their
Something like
tweets.
that, yeah.
One of those, like, you know, they tweet solid stuff most of the time, and then that becomes like a viral thing, and then that becomes adopted into the pop culture thing of like, oh, the main character. Let's make a chart of all the main characters of Twitter. And Jan first, it's Bean Dad, and then it's like, it's just all so exhausting. And then like even talking about this and like having these fun phrases, like that becomes like exhausting. But then it's like, I don't know. Not that like the way I talk about it is like anything fresh or interesting.
Or what we do here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get it.
It's
like,
all fleeting. It's all dumb. You just got to find a way to pass the time.
Honestly, I do feel like just from doing this show, there is a levity to it because it's like at the end of the day, we're just bullshitting with friends. You know, we're just like making conversation and hopefully making each other laugh. But like,
sometimes
I do feel like what you're talking about, like with comedy aging and stuff like that, is that like a lot of times if I'm like trying to write stand up or if I'm trying to make a TikTok video or trying to do a tweet or something like that, it's just like, well, you can't just make a joke about it because it has to be like an ironic joke, but everyone's doing the irony thing. So like you have to do the ironic thing to the ironic thing. And it takes such like a weird turn where it's just like, man, I'd rather just like sit in a room with friends and like crack a couple beers and like make fun of the whole thing and like engage in some of these conversations. Like again, that's where I look at this podcast and it's like, I'm glad that we do it. And I'm glad that this is like my main outlet for a lot of this stuff, because so much of the way that you interact with the world outside of that, I feel like just like spoils my brain, you know?
And I even like just when I start to sense my brain feeling that motion of like, ooh, like for example, today on Twitter, the big thing was like that diagram of like Saddam Hussein's cave or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen that getting memed of it.
All these different parodies of it. And like there was a split second where I was like, oh, I got to think of one. And I'm like, I hate my life. Like the fact that I, number one, feel like I have to, number two, thought about it seriously for even a second. And it's like, yeah, there happened like, because people posting them in the Discord. I'm like, that is pretty funny and stuff. But then it's like, it's done now. It's done. And I hate that we're just
as soon as it becomes a meme, it's like basically dead. And that's kind of the curse and the gift of being always online is like you can get a sense of the trends to like make one quickly. But then also like as soon as you contribute your it's the post clarity of like, oh yeah, this is already like as soon as something blows up, it's dead. And then it maybe has like a little gas in the tank and like maybe it is still kind of funny, but like unless you have a very fun, nuanced take. Or not even that, but like, you know, you can get kind of niche with it. But that's all the memeing is like you have this one degree of commonality and you're exploring it from every single angle. And then as it goes through time, you also get to you get to reanalyze the Saddam Hussein tunnel like in like of every single other meme. So then it's like Saddam Hussein's tunnel in context of Bean Dad, in context of Carol freaking Baskins.
Or like the goofy thing like, damn bitch, you live like this.
Yeah. Or just like every other meme, you can just mix it up. But then as the memes, as we go through time, it's the Katamari ball of like it gets bigger and it's rolling and then it's like it's mixing with everything else.
And some stuff falls off.
Yeah, and you pick it up and there's a guy with a big pompadour.
Yeah.
And he screams a little when you get him.
Yeah.
And
God, those games are so fun.
It's so good. It's
I have the
perfect game.
same issue, Kevin, that you do, which like also I see a lot of these trends take off and I'm like, you know what I have to do is I have to get better at Photoshop and I just have to have a big folder of all of these things at every time so that when I fucking see it pop up on the computer, I can just take the image and I can just drop fucking Goofy saying, damn bitch, you live like this. And I can just drop that in and I'll get a million likes. And it's like, is that really how I need to be thinking about the fucking world that I live in?
It's like you do that or you like you focus on the job that you hate or you deal with the reality of like this is it like
God! Okay there I don't know what else to say about this that has like how about this, damn bitch, you live like this, and then the female Goofy, it's Carol Baskins feeding her husband to some tigers. And see, that's why like we're coming down like I know we're kind of reaching the juicy nectar of all this right now, because that is why I find your TGI What the F posts so funny, is because you are like beyond that point where you're like just satirizing the whole act of it through this just like goofy comedic voice.
Yeah, because it's just like I'm bringing up these things that were the hot moment thing, but it's like so past its prime, and even if it wasn't that far ago. It feels like a long time ago, but it's also like people made such a big deal of it in the moment, and everyone was like dunking or joking about it. But then it's like, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Right.
But then
right.
it's like bringing back like, yeah, so apparently Elon Musk is hosting SNL. Yeah, hey, he makes cars, not jokes. Like, not even that.
And then it's like,
good.
it also, not to like overanalyze it, but it does, if I may say, speak to the frivolity of all of this and how it is just completely fucking meaningless, because it's like the things you're talking about are not that old. And what we're talking about today will feel very old in 5
very
days
dated episode.
time.
Yeah.
And yeah, these episodes age like probably like milk. I mean, I will say I have enjoyed some people in the Discord who have been going back and listening to some of the old ones and being like, yeah, it is kind of funny. You guys talking about this one thing. So at the very least, we consider this podcast to be sort of a very pathetic time capsule. And I guess it ages okay, but in terms
I think it also
of,
contextualizes like you go back and you're just like, oh, we started in the midst of the Trump era, and like how much of that's just influenced like
towards the very beginning, actually.
Yeah, like towards the beginning, like in what, 2017?
Yeah,
so
I mean, right around when he got inaugurated.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So, and a lot of that does influence, I mean, politics on a grander scale, but also just like how people interact with the internet, how people interact with each other, how people interact with just and a lot of these issues that, were sort of like arising around those times, or maybe like I said this when we were talking about it in the Discord, but I'm glad that we didn't start the show around like the Gamergate era, because the show would have aged horrendously, like talking about that shit. But I'm glad that it was like the tail end of that stuff and people were thinking about things a little more critically at the same time that like Trump's presidency like fucking turned everyone for a loop.
Well, if Gamergate happened today, we'd be talking about the new video Gamergay.
Gaming is gay.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
Truly.
We're talking about Getter, I guess, at some point. I get my punishment. What the fuck? My punishment for anybody. I don't know. This whole conversation just makes me feel like Dr. Manhattan on Mars.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I guess
You
that's
want to build a big clock.
Yeah, it makes you feel like Dr. Manhattan on freaking acid.
on meth as well. Kinda
And
like
crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine. And that is that.
So that's
if
the punishment. Is you build a big.
The punishment
clock.
is if you feel the same as we do, you go to Mars and you build a giant clock.
Hey, how about this? The punishment for Getter, hardly know her.
There we go. That should be the leftist
Fucking-
equivalent. And then hardly know her. And it's like
With
everything's with just the last.
just the R.
And then instead of trying to get Trump, they're trying to get the hosts of Chapo to join, and they're like, no.
Yeah, or whoever they love, or whoever people on the left like Joe Biden. I guess they love him on the left.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of left, Key to the City.
Wow, that was nice. Key to the City, something nice, something positive, something swell. My key to the city goes to this video, which actually we'll play the first minute of this. It's called and I think I sent it, or I don't think I meant to send this to you. Shrimp and Cereal Shenanigans. This is a video from Jay Weingarten and Bridie Phillips. Maybe her name's Bridie, but anyway, we'll play the first minute of this video. Shrimp and Cereal Shenanigans by Bridie and Jay.
The music for this is so perfect.
Jesus.
Honey? Honey,
What?
this is not good. Come here, please. What are you doing? Come here. This is not. There's something in the cinnamon toast crunch, sweetie.
Jesus.
Oh,
You're being crazy.
you mean look?
What could it possibly
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh
Look at
my
I don't.
gosh.
Ew. What is this?
What the heck is that? Oh my god, don't tell me. That's shrimp?
Sweetie, I think it's a shrimp in a cinnamon toast crunch.
Anyway, that's enough of the video.
my
It goes on for a while.
How weird is that?
But it's like I feel like they're tapped into the same thing as you, Ian, where it's just like capitalizing on this just useless.
Well, this is also I've recently like started following. I mean, he's been around for a bit now. And he's very funny, very talented.
Yeah.
And I love his. He I would say has this. I listened to an episode of his podcast recently, and it's very funny.
What's it called? Creative Types? Or
Yeah,
like
something
him and,
like
him
that.
and Matthew Golden.
Yeah. But it's this double-edged sword of like he has like a perfected or like a way stronger, way more interesting version. I feel like of like kind of like what I'm doing, but also the pitfall of this though. Additionally, is it's like you live in this like totally ironic like funny zone, and I feel I run into it too, but it also it seems like the trade-off for like being this funny and like being able to just so effortlessly like kind of like take like kind of anything to task like this is like I can't like I'm imagining hanging out with this person and they're very funny and I love the time, but we both have trouble like being sincere or like authentic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like a thing that I sort of feel like I am like, you know, being like, I would say starting comedy being like an always on guy. It's like annoying, but it's like if you are funny, it's like I don't think people necessarily mind as much because you're being funny, but also it's like you just like enjoy the fucking sunset, man, or like, you know,
Right. You can do both, but that is the question of like if you are like this clocked into it, like can you just enjoy a sunset?
You can't.
I don't know, but it is like and this is like something, and I've heard other people like people who are creators and stuff online who have talked about like. Yeah, I have a hard time not acting how I did
It's
in
like
my
irony
in my
poisoning.
videos. Yeah, because of like I'm so into that.
Tapped in. And also it's like when you are into it that way, it's like you see this funny thing and you want to, because it's like this being like the first time of like kind of being out or like hanging out. I didn't go up, but I went to a mic and I saw comics. It was really fun, but I was just so like, it's just like these couple times that I've saw people I haven't seen in like, 18 months. I just like so effortlessly like was going into like saying this a funny little quip or joke. And I recognize that that's how I fit into a lot of like social structures or whatever.
Right.
But also at the same time, it's like, why can't I like just talk to this person, or like why does it always have to be like that?
I heavily relate to that.
It's a balance for sure. Like I really do try to strike that balance as best I can, where it's like I try to be a person to these people.
Right.
But yeah, I mean I would say like there are some people who have a very hard time turning it off. And I think honestly part of it is not the conversation I thought we were going to go into, but I think part of it is like it's hard to be vulnerable. And it's like you got to challenge yourself to be kind of vulnerable sometimes and like not like, and to be honest, I actually like, because I used to like, years ago, I actually used to like message Jay Weingarten on Facebook for like
money,
comedy
like
advice.
$50.
No, yeah, hey man, you got $50. No, and like he was normal to talk to, and he was like,
and that's me probably projecting my insecurities.
No, but
about
I thought he might not be, but I remember him saying something like, this is sort of like this like years ago. I'm like, do you ever feel like you're overly cynical of the world because of how you communicate through your jokes? And he said something, I wish I could fully remember, but it was something along the lines of, I don't see myself as a cynical person. I try to enjoy life. And what I do, whatever with this, I don't really, it's just goofing off. You know, so.
So that kind of exposes me as this big asshole.
No,
so.
but like, no. No, Ian, I'm
This
right.
guy probably sucks, and he probably hates everything the same amount as I do.
Yeah. No, but I do like, and there are like certain people that I talk to that I do have my own hard time turning this off, because it's like we have to like text each other like, hey, you want to do my show? You want to do this?
Well, in quotes, yes.
Right. And it's like, I guess like further the older I get or whatever, I don't think it has anything to do with age, but more just where we are in culture and stuff. Like I do analyze that behavior a little more, where it's like, do we really have to do this? Like, save it for the fucking pod, save the energy. And I have had people being like, is this person always like, to talk about other people, like, is this person always like, are they where they're like, are they messing with me? I'm like, no, that person just always like this because that's just how they are, and they haven't figured out how to turn it off yet. And that's, and that's probably why a lot of us have mental illness.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely recognize like the defense mechanism aspect of everything,
and that's
humor
a big part of it
related to how I interact with everything. Because I mean, and I've probably talked about this before, but like, I am the same on this show as I am in life and in like at work. Like, I don't have, like code switching and shit like that. Like, I don't know how to do it,
I can see
I've
that.
always been very bad at it. And I guess I'm glad that I found a position in life where I don't necessarily have to do it as much as other people who have to like be professional at work or anything like that. But like, I think it's gotten better, but like, I can also see where like, when I was younger, I think like my sense of humor turned a lot of people off.
You said Facebook with your relatives.
Yeah, I think and I also think that like my sense of humor when I was younger was also like a lot meaner and was a lot more like
everyone's so
defensive
full of piss and vinegar when they're younger.
Yeah, and it's like
Got
you look
something to
at
prove
like
and-
sarcasm, and it's like sarcasm is usually, it comes from like a
That's
dark,
my love language.
it comes from a dark
my
place,
second
man.
language.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're never like sarcastic when you're like happy. Like happy people aren't sarcastic. They're like, well, what do you think it is? And it's like,
Taken aback by it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Weird, man.
I have a lot of complicated thoughts on the matter that I feel like most of it is probably just who cares? Let's just have a laugh.
Yeah, everybody's
You know?
fucked up. You just got to be, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I love a
Just
little
gotta
show
be-
called Rick and Morty, because they
They take a lot of things to task
Yeah.
on that one.
Speaking of being taken to task,
Oh, yeah, key to the
Ian,
city.
what's your key to the city?
Something good or whatever.
key to the city. Key to the city. Who do I give? This is just something we like, right?
Yeah, just something you like. Maybe a video you saw that's nice. Maybe just a gesture, a friend, something.
Something you saw on the internet that made you smile, or it doesn't even have to be the internet. Some people don't.
I key to the city. I would have to give that to. I noticed that you had a video of a guy playing guitar to a parrot.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend will send a big thing on TikToks. We'll just send good little animal TikToks.
Yeah.
But my algorithm's picking up a lot of like. There's a really funny parrot that speaks Spanish, and it's always being like, "Are you going to work? Are you going to work? What are you doing? What are you?" And then it'll like start swearing at the guy in Spanish.
Do they have a name?
I don't remember, but or just like the birds reacting to music, or just being like fun. Like animals are very nice. They get the key to the city.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Especially when they're doing silly ass shit on video.
Speaking of animals doing silly ass shit on video, here's so this channel's called Frank. I saw this on Twitter. Someone was like, I'm obsessed with this guy and his bird that just like he plays guitar and the bird sings. So that's exactly what this is. It's called Frank Maglio, Tico, and the Man. Mouthful to say the least, but let me pull this up on here. We can listen to this bird singing some songs as this man plays guitar accompaniment. I feel like there's better ones where the bird's actually singing, but honestly, just like, fuck it, you know? Whatever.
It's so freaky but cool how the pupils dilate on the birds.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a lovely singing voice. Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, he is like
He's a little guy.
harmonizing to what he's playing. So it's like, he's not singing Here Comes the Sun.
Or
but
there was
it's
one
like,
where Iggy Pop was playing like a song he wrote for in his cockatiel, and the cockatiel's like head was bobbing, and he's like rocking out to it. It's just
Dude,
like,
I hate the fact that this is how my brain works, but like the first thing I thought of was like, man, it's going to be really sad for that guy when that bird dies.
yeah.
there went the sun.
Yeah. I know they live for a long time, but like,
Right.
you know, chances
I mean,
are
yeah.
he's probably going to outlive the bird.
Even
And a nice video, Grant. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice every once in a while where you find something like that and you're just like bored on a Friday Junior and you're
Jesus
scrolling
Christ.
through and you're like, this is like, it's just nice to see something that's nice every once in a while,
the-
you know,
yeah,
not
yeah.
something that's
Niceness.
just filling my brain with garbage all the time, but just like, here's a guy playing guitar and his bird's just fucking around singing. Like, cool. This is like, in a weird way, calming and relaxing to the rest of the chaos happening as the world burns.
No, I do agree.
Yeah.
I do agree. We already did word of the week earlier. I already forgot what it was.
It was post clarity.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's get to some plugs. Ian, where the hell can we find your crap?
Yeah, you can go to Twitter. I think I'm Mr. Ian Online.
Wait, sorry not to interrupt. IONet runners had the parrot video. Trump was on TV in the back. I mean, guy, maybe he just had the news on, but it is funny to imagine that. Like, just
Well, I guess,
everything.
yeah. Thanks for ruining the video. Appreciate that. Wow, what a nice video. How calm and relaxing. Hey, by the way, let me remind you of something.
Everything.
Did you notice this?
Everything is fucking political.
You can't watch a fucking bird dance around and sing as a man plays guitar.
I'm sorry, Ian.
Just can't.
One more time, please.
Ian, where can we find you online?
Twitter, Mr. Ian Online.
And don't be changing it again.
I might. I don't really like Mr. Ian
Well,
Online, but I might change it again soon.
Follow him now so that when he changes it, you'll already be following
I'm
him.
my avatar is a little green skateboard with
What the hell
sunglasses.
is that thing?
Okay, so if you do you know the Dinosauri? It's like this. There's this production company called Dingo Pictures, and the important video YouTube playlist that has the like dinosaur that's like the Yee dinosaur. Yee.
Yeah.
The production company for that is called Dingo Pictures, and they make a ton of like rip-off movies. And I think this one was there's like a toy. If Google Dingo Pictures Toy Story,
I do want to see that.
and they it's like literally like it's mind blowing like how cheap the animation is. Me and some friends would get like really high and we'd watch these movies, and they're like an hour and a half long, but it's literally just like a flapping like pterodactyl flying from one side of the screen to the other to be like, and then it like flies across the other screen. But they do Aladdin, they do Toy Story,
This
they
it?
do
Am I
This
looking at the right
this is Dingo Pictures, but
wanna toss it up on the
do
screen?
Dingo Pictures and then do Toy Story. Because whenever we would watch Dinosauri, and the version of Dinosauri on YouTube is in Italian for some reason.
Is this?
Yeah. So these are like the toys.
It looks more like Brave Little Toaster.
It's kind of, well, I mean, they definitely like take from other movies, and it's like they reuse characters all the time. But yeah, there's the skateboard guy that's my avatar. So
Wait,
whatever.
which one's the avatar?
Oh, down a little bit, and right there.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he. Oh my God. What do you know?
Yeah, but I always thought, because if you watch the Dinosauri video in Italian on YouTube, they have a precursor for the like 3 or 4 other movies that they have. And also, you could only get these movies on PlayStation 2. They sold them as
What?
They would put like 3 or 4 movies on a PlayStation 2 game instead of like a DVD.
That is insane.
Yeah. But so there's another one called Animal Soccer World, and they reuse a bunch of the animals from like the Fox and the Hound, if they have a ripoff from that, or like Lion King. But I really recommend that you look up some dingo pictures. I've seen the Aladdin one. I've seen the Pocahontas one, which is done great. But the Pocahontas one features a character named Wabu, who is a little raccoon who, when he jumps, his like feet curl, just has like really bad animation. But I guess, I don't know if they put Wabu in. No, I think Wabu was, I guess, popular enough from the Pocahontas one that they made a Wabu movie. But I really recommend listen to the Wabu song. Wabu sings a very good song. He also, I think, he likes to drink. Like,
sure,
yeah. But these movies are so incredibly bad. There's this one scene of the Pocahontas one where they're like on John Smith's ship. And the captain of John Smith's ship is Mr. Crunchable. Crunchable. And people on the ship are like, I can't wait to come to America, the land of the free, where land of opportunity rings through. And it's like they haven't like colonized America yet. But then it cuts to this one scene of like this Italian chef in like the cooking gallery who is just like this big fat guy, and he's like flipping a big pancake. And he's the chef, and he's like a big Italian chef, and like his sidekick or his partner is a very bad depiction of like a Chinese guy.
Oh my god!
And there's no reason for either of those characters to be in the movie, other than to fill up time, and they already had these characters like rendered. So like you watch this, and they re-render like these characters, and all they find every way to like reuse these character models and stuff.
I honestly, I will check that out, because one of my favorite things is like just horrible rip-off animation movies.
It's like literally the worst. It's like I watched these with my friends Robert and Lev is like he's like a huge cartoonist buff. He's an animator, and it's just like watching that with him. Not that you can't enjoy it, like you need an animator to enjoy it, but it's just like you see how. Like what is the loosest definition of calling something animated to like see how this works, because it's like, what was their budget, like $1? Like what it's like so horrendously bad, but
that
it's
was
like
a real
very
dumb.
entertaining.
What was your budget? $1?
Yeah, well, I mean I recommend it. It's very funny.
Yeah, man, I'll check it out.
And that's also my key to the city.
I was gonna say, yeah, that'd be a good key to the city as well. Yeah, on it, real quick. Have you ever seen Rat Boy Genius?
Oh, I love Rat Boy Genius.
That's like the same vein. And that was like something like 10 years ago.
But I feel like the person who made that has like a little bit of a spark, or like they made that into something that is like has more depth than this, because this is just literally like we want to make Toy Story, but like we have this box of colored pencil.
Okay, yeah, I see. It's like it's more of a.
It's like a cash grab.
Yeah, shameless.
Yeah.
But yeah, your Instagram, where can we find you?
If you search, my name is Ian Erickson. If Mr. Ian Online on Twitter or Instagram. I'm not really, I might do comedy again sometime, but I haven't really had too much of a will to do it. So if you follow me there and you thought I was funny, then heck,
you'll see some things.
Yeah.
And stick around on Friday. You're going to see some.
Watch out.
Crazy.
You might
crap.
hear a little perspective.
Yeah.
You might get a little perspective with your tweets on Friday.
Let's see here. Before we get to the final segment, which is our listener voicemails, I want to give a quick thank you to a new patron this week, Vitas Idzelis. Thank you, Vitas.
It's about time.
Listener voicemails, give us a call if you want, 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Hit it.
This This is the Discord News for this week, bringing you all the news worth reporting from the virtual streets of Neo-Chicago.
The man formerly known as Ogrudon continues to post Gayfield on every single day of the week. He must be stopped.
In hashtag real music, Sleep Signs threatened to kill Yosef after he made a very good pun about one of Sleep's favorite metal bands.
In hashtag Reparglected, his name is fucking stupid. The server collectively nerded out over the Steven Crowder-Sam Cedar confrontation, in which Steven Crowder screamed like a child after being set up by Ethan Klein of H3H3 into debating Sam instead of him.
Hashtag Neo-Chicago continues to alienate non-Chicagoans with all their Chicago talk, such as deadly, deadly tornadoes.
It's not for you.
Nothing
Kevin announced that he had some
about the
special
Discord
things
news,
planned
by
for
the way.
today's episode. Grant, blink twice if you're okay. And now to our final segment of the program, Sports Update.
Who cares how the teams are doing, as the library that was added back in Season 17 is finally bearing fruit. Now in Season 22, many records are being uncovered, only to find out that they have redacted entries. Users can help unredact an entry by upscaling an entry with a red herring that they get from upshelling certain events with peanuts. I know I'm looking forward to finding out the history of Placeball to see if this all finally makes sense.
It's the Thought Cop's birthday week, as we wish both Grant and Kevin happy birthdays. Now that they're both 30, them doing a podcast in a bedroom is even sadder. This week's Discord News has been presented to you by Communist Sideways Joseph and Parrot Skull Tropical Goth.
He's not wrong.
Thank you, I guess. Sleep Science in the chat says, kind of amazed that the Steven Crowder thing wasn't Grant's key to the city, probably forgot. I did forget.
And thank you for catching that.
I want to talk about it, but also I don't want to. That'll be next week's key to the city. Spoiler alert. I'll fucking go into my in-depth analysis of that. Instead, it's a racist bird. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon Kirkman. I saw that Ian's going to be on today's episode, so I want to ask you all, what would it be like if Hatsune Miku wore the mask from Jim Carrey's hit classic, The Mask from 1994? Oh, it's just crazy to think about. I mean, like, that's some wild shit. Anyways.
Yes.
Every single time.
He brought a megaphone to the live show and did that.
That's so good.
He
That's
saved his toilet flush on it.
So good.
That is a very good question. What would it be like if Hatsune Miku wore the mask?
Hatsune Miku the
HoloLive
with that partner with Domino's Pizza to sell Domino's pizzas in Japan?
And she's another one of these larger than life characters up there.
Is she technically the first VTuber, or is she just like a complete like fake, like,
I don't know,
because like they make those synth, like who's the like rapper guy with like the synthetic jaw? They're like there are like digital influencers that are like, no, it's not a person. It's like not like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do, but I think those are newer, so I'm going to give it to Hatsune Miku. But if she put on the mask from the titular film starring Jim Carrey,
The Mask,
yes, that might go. I'm trying. That's a good question. She might be like, I'm just imagining like her singing in faster, higher pitched Japanese, because that's what she does. She sings in high pitched Japanese, but it would be faster, higher pitched, and even Japanesier than usual.
I think that she would probably take out what one thing I've noticed, and it might be just like the Japanese toy hammer that like makes the squeaky noise. Yeah, she would have a big one of those, or like a kendama ball, and she would smash the Noid. She'd probably get up in the Noid, because I don't want to think about what would happen if he got.
Oh fuck! I am not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I think she would. I think she would put on the mask, and it would be kind of like a Sailor Moon cutscene, and like as the like mask energy, instead of her like getting like the very cool like pigtails and like a beautiful like skirt and like a very lush like ribbon costume. It's like a big yellow zoot suit is unfolding,
right.
and like a big feather is like coming out of her cap, and she's like spinning around in like a jazz club or wherever he hangs out.
Smoking.
Yeah, and she hits someone with a big toy hammer, and it's probably the Noid. I don't know the character as well as maybe Brandon thought I did, but
maybe he thinks that everybody does.
That's something that that's something a little wrong with him then.
Brandon, you're one twisted guy. You know that?
Speaking of twisted guys.
And good evening, Thought Cops. Once again, it is I, Leo the Incredible.
Once again.
Gracing your wonderful voicemail. It's been some time since we've done this audio taboo, this audio tango of
he's saying speed
voicemails
it up,
and shows.
Leo.
It's been so long, I've lost my ability to even use words or even make it coherently through a voicemail anymore. I am simply out of practice.
Hey, aren't we all?
Nonetheless, there is a lot of congratulations due this voicemail, gentlemen. I wanted to first congratulate you on your wonderful live show.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
excellent. Up on YouTube for those that are listening. Go watch. Go have a laugh. I also wanted to congratulate the both of you on making it to your respective birthdays.
Thank you.
Can you believe it? Two Thought Cops birthdays,
right?
All within the same week. Absolutely astounding.
The same episode.
Absolutely incredible.
And then what do I get?
So congratulations for your birthdays. Congratulations on your
We
live
said the
show.
birthday, yes,
and what
the
I imagine
birthdays,
will
we
be a
get
very
30,
lucrative tour.
And then for me, and what are you going
That
to say to me?
being said,
Here it comes.
there is one place where the congratulations is simply missing and has been missing. Grant.
Fuck.
Grant.
Oh, man.
I need not speak its name, for you know what's gone uncongratulated, what's gone undefeated, what has gone unstreamed. Gentlemen, I look forward to your future stream endeavors. Have a good night.
Leo the Incredible. I think his name should be Leo the Forgetful, because he forgot to congratulate me on what a nice job I've been doing as lead guest.
I think he is in the
It's true.
chat. Let's see if he has anything to say. I don't know if he's still paying attention. Oh, he is typing. He's typing.
He's Taiping from the Taiping dynasty?
I believe so, yeah.
He says, I am here, Ian. It sounds dismissive.
He's got more to say. Well, while he's got more to say,
he's typing.
Let's play the next voicemail.
All right. This is gonna round that. He says, Your praise is beyond words.
Okay.
He says he's still typing. He's probably
this cannot be the show.
He's typing on probably like a typewriter, which is why it's taking so long. He says, you got an affirmative nod from me. Leo the Incredible is what he said. So
why don't you give him a follow, Leo, instead of your nod that doesn't count?
Yeah, I'm typing on my typewriter too.
Oh.
God damn.
Anyway.
Just having a bit of fun, Leo.
Yeah, we're just joking.
We're joking around.
Yeah, this is a comedy podcast. Speaking of comedy, let's bring it.
Hey, Thought Cops. It's KT Shane.
Hey.
So I picked up a pretty wholesome new hobby. I've been listening to piano covers of video game music on YouTube.
Oh, that's
But since these are on YouTube, I'm exposed to a lot of YouTube comments. And these comments have reminded me that we're nearly 6 years from Satoru Iwata's passing. And people are still getting all extra about what he meant to their lives. And I don't want to like gatekeep grief or anything, but it gets to be a little much when you're on a Rainbow Road piano cover and people are like, "Oh, they should have played this at Iwata's funeral."
I don't think
it's like I feel like that does a disservice to him as a guy. Like, I'm sure he had friends and family and stuff outside of Nintendo. I know he was really dedicated to the company, but I kind of feel like if he is out there somewhere in some form, that he'd be like exploring the great beyond. He's not, looking up remixes of Bob on Battlefield on YouTube.
Jesus.
Anyway, I got to be cranky about something, so I guess it's that this week.
That's a good one.
Appreciate it.
That's a good one. People really do lionize that guy. And it's like, he's a great. I definitely miss the guy, but like,
yeah, he's up at the pearly gates, and people are like, "Hey, get back to work."
Yeah, we're talking about you on the Smiles and Tears song from Earthbound. Get your ass back down here.
Yeah, you know the job that you worked for however many decades? We're still thinking about it. And it's like, yeah, man, I had a paycheck. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, people, I know what he's saying. People like really, it's like, oh, I couldn't. It's like people who probably don't even know the full involvement he had in most of the games they play. They just assume he is a part of every single Nintendo game, which is probably not true.
Well, his head is in Super Smash Bros.
No, it's Dr. Kawashima from Brain Age.
Huh.
Because I only know that because I used to think the same thing. And I found out I was wrong.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't do racism, or that we both did racism.
Not where I was thinking that was gonna go, but hey, it went there. Is that the rest of the voicemails?
That's it. We're done.
All right.
No more show. That
was a long one, and what a journey it was. I feel like we started off. And then we started to criticize why did we get like
here I kind of feel like we all made it weird today.
I hope this episode out there taught someone it was okay to be weird.
Yeah.
Ian, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I wish all you coppers out there. So what do you call it?
Deputies,
something like that.
Which is also the guest.
Oh, what about deputy in Johnny Depp?
With 2 P's, I like where this is going. I like where this is going. Wait, hold on.
So I figured that Zwick would just play us out with the Pirates.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna. That's what he's gonna do for sure. Thank you, Zwick.
Это что-то сочинил ты.